Hello and welcome. As promised, here is a video going over some of the basic strumming patterns that we did in our ukulele lesson. For subscribers and fans and anybody else other than my student who's looking at this video, most of my videos on this site are made for specific students. I put the ones up here that I think could be useful to others. I do protect the anonymity of those individual students. But I hope more than one person finds this useful, okay? There is also music available for this. Okay, it's really hard for me not to use your name, anonymous student, but here we go. Okay, so our first drum was one strum every 4 beats, okay, which was one strum per measure in the key signature of 4/4. To make this obvious, I'm going to use a metronome. The metronome setting I am using is 80 beats per minute. Wouldn't go much slower than that because slower than that makes it hard to feel the beat. And I wouldn't go much faster than that because faster than that might make some of the later exercises be a little bit too fast. So I think this is a good setting. 80, perhaps 74 or 76, but 80 is good. So here we go. I'm going to fire up the metronome and start the first exercise. One strum every 4 beats, one strum per chord. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and on C. And stop. I'll do it one more time and give you the chord names as well. 1, 2, ready, go. C, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3. Repeat. C, 2, 3. F, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. C, and you can end on C. Stop. Okay, the next example is one strum every 2 beats. That is half notes if you're reading music. 2 strums per measure, 2 strums per chord, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and on C. 2, 3, 4, done. Very good. Okay, so the next one, you might have guessed, we're following a logical progression here. The next one is going to be one strum every single beat. Okay, there's 4 beats per measure, so it's 4 strums per measure. There's 1 chord per measure, so it's 4 strums per chord. 4 strums per chord, 1 strum every beat. I will show you what I mean. 1, 2, ready, go. Strum, 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 strum. See how it's 1 strum every beat. Let's do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Chord names. C, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3. End on C. 2, 3, 4. Done. Okay, now, next we need to take a little pause here between this exercise and the next. We're going to get into eighth notes now, things that happen on the and of the beat. You may have heard that expression, there's the beat and the and. I'll count the and so you get an idea of what that means. Here's the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it is with the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so when you start playing the ands, those are called eighth notes if you don't know how to read music. My anonymous student does know how to read music, so I guess I don't need to explain that too much. So before we go any further, let's do a straight eighth note strum without doing anything fancy. We're just going to do a strum every single eighth note. Don't even worry about changing chords. Just do it on the C chord, okay? And I will give you an example. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, see how that works? Now you may have noticed something. As we were playing this pattern for the very first time, we have an up strum, an upstroke. Okay, the upstrokes and downstrokes are indicated in the music. When do you know? How do you know when to do an upstroke or a downstroke? Well, let's do that exercise again. I will tell you, you do the upstrokes on the ands. So pay attention to the count and when that upstroke is. You will also see that my hand is moving just like a metronome. I'm being more of a drummer almost than a ukulele player because I'm doing this up and down thing. Okay, so let's try it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, 4 up. So you go up every time on the ands. Okay, now for the next exercise, we're going to simplify it a little bit. We're only going to have one and in the entire strum. Okay, so look at the music. Here's how the strum goes. I'll count it first before I play it. The strum is going to go 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, the and is an up. So it's going to go down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. Okay, going to try it with the whole chord progression. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 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 3. End on C. 2, 3, 4. Done. Very good. Okay, the next one, continuing on with our logical pattern, we'll have two ands, two upstrokes, okay? It's on your music. I will count it, and then I will play. The count goes like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. The strum goes like this. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Notice how the ups always correspond with the ands. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, and here it is. All four chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, down, up, down. 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 Count. 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. And on C. 4, done. Okay, now the last one actually causes beginners a lot more problems, even though it's much simpler. There's only 3 strums, but it's the rhythm, it's the syncopation. The last strum happens on an and. So you got to get the timing of that and right, because that and is very important. And it's a very common syncopated strum for a lot of different styles. This particular strum is one you'll see all the time on ukulele as well as on guitar. So look at it on the music. I will count it and then I will play it. Okay, it goes like this: 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. Okay, so remember, here's the way to keep you on track with this. Even though you're not playing the last 2 beats, 3 and 4, don't forget to count them, and they'll tell you exactly when to come back in again. So it's going to go like this: 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and 3, 4. You're not playing on those 3 4s. 1, 2, and 3, 4. I'll play it for you now. Okay. 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. Here we go. 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. Okay, I'm going to count it this time with all 4 beats so you can hear what fits in the beats. Watch, I'm not strumming on every beat though, so there's a long pause, and that's what makes the rhythm tricky. It's actually a good example of how sometimes the slower things and the subtler things can be just as challenging as the really fast things. Okay, here we go. With a full count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, I'm not doing the chords. Let me do all the chords. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 1, 2, and 3, and on C. 2, 3, 4, done. Okay, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Like I said, this was just a brief demonstration to go with a lesson. Hopefully you all find it useful. I hope that my anonymous students in particular will find it useful. I will see you next time. In the meantime, play every day and stay safe.